The proximity between military, economics, and intelligence is perceived very positive in Israel, whereas it creates negative headlines in Germany. Where do you see the advantages of the approach of Israel, and what would Germany be able to learn from Israel in this respect?
Well, really, the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, the army, were established long before cybersecurity was even an issue, and it was established to primarily mitigate other threats than cyber attacks. But the fact that we do have the IDF, we do have the army, it serves as some kind of an organic screening process that really promotes the Israeli cyber ecosystem as a whole. You see, when you have that kind of mandatory draft of every 18 years old in Israel, you can really pick and choose the best and the brightest and train them with cutting edge technologies, delegate them with enormous responsibilities, and just, give them the opportunity to encounter challenges that they would never encounter in the civilian world. So it really creates a prosperous ground where they can, emerge and thrive. And later on, they could, succeed in the same way in the academy, in the industry, in other places. So it's a good starting point for them when we're talking about, the cybersecurity aspects and context.
All right, and now coming from the meta level to a more personal level, do you see any cultural differences between Israel and Germany when it, for example, comes to innovative products like smart home products or self-driving cars? Are people in Israel afraid of these products because they let cyber into their homes, so to say?
Well, the Israeli people in general are very security oriented, so I do think there is awareness to the vulnerabilities that those kind of products encompass. But I do believe that there are also similarities between Israelis and Germans in the context, in the way that generally, until ordinary civilians will understand that those products are vulnerable and that you should, prefer security over usability, until that kind of assumption will really trickle down and consumers from all around will embrace it, the manufacturers will not embrace it in the same way. So we have to have some kind of, of that kind of wide acceptance of that kind of assumption. And later on, I think that the manufacturers will act accordingly.
For many of these innovation, big data is necessary. In Europe, we tend to be very, or rather, overprotective with our data and have lots of regulations on that. How do you deal with that in Israel? How's the innovation culture there?
Well, maybe I'll start by saying that that we do understand that privacy is important, especially in this technology-driven world, in the world of IoT, Internet of Things. Even what seems before to be just negligible in information, just small pieces of information, when you aggregate them and integrate them, they could really create a very unique prism into someone's life and habits and environment. So it's really important to see how do we adapt new regulations and new standards so we could secure those people. And in Israel, I think it's probably the same in other places in the world, where we're trying, on the one hand, to secure and protect our civilians, but on the other hand, we also don't want to impede or curtail the innovation that has been generated in our companies, in our economy. So it's really important to at least enable them to keep on going with their, with their business innovation and just create new, innovative, best-of-breed solutions without hampering that kind of future development.